Caitlin Clark's LPGA Annika Pro-Am debut has become the stuff of instant legend, catching the world off guard and sending waves of buzz through sports media and fan circles alike. Known primarily for her relentless prowess on the basketball court, Clark's decision to step onto the golf course felt as if Michael Jordan had suddenly decided to start pitching baseballs again. Yet there was a magnetic pull to her appearance, a vibe that drew fans not just of golf or basketball but of sports as a whole. Those watching couldn't help but feel that something special was brewing, something unexpected. It was the perfect storm of curiosity and thrill, blending the worlds of golf and basketball in a way few ever anticipated. Caitlin Clark wasn't here for just a casual round of golf. She was here to compete, to surprise, and to play on a level no one had predicted. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Right from the moment she set foot on the course, Caitlin Clark radiated an unusual blend of confidence and humility. Here was a young woman used to dominating her domain in basketball, adapting with a kind of flexible boldness that had everyone from pros to onlookers hooked. She didn't arrive with the lofty airs one might expect. There was no dramatic entourage, no flashy outfits, no hyper-focus on showing off. Instead, she exuded the same down-to-earth aura that had endeared her to her fans in basketball. Yet it was combined with a quiet fire and resolve. For Clark, this wasn't about simply trying out another sport. It was about challenging herself in a way that fans could deeply relate to. Her swing itself was enough to spark conversation. Those who had followed her on the court knew Caitlin Clark for her precision and intensity, but watching her take to the green with a solid, if slightly unrefined, stroke was like watching a lion cautiously stretch its legs in new territory. She wasn't flawless. There were hiccups in her game that made her even more human and approachable. But her raw athleticism carried her, and each drive down the fairway showed a form that surprised even the seasoned golfers around her. She was doing more than just holding her own. Clark was performing in a way that hinted at untapped potential. Every time she wound up her club, there was an element of excitement. Fans could tell she wasn't here to merely participate. Her shots might not have been perfect, but they were delivered with an intense determination, as if she was thinking, "If I can nail threes from 30 feet out, I can definitely make this putt." Humor found its way into the event, with Caitlin's occasional side-eye glances and self-deprecating laughs creating a light-hearted undertone. A bit of comic relief came when she missed a relatively short putt. Clark reacted with an exaggerated groan, drawing chuckles from those watching and easing the tension. Her reactions to her own mistakes were a reminder that, despite her fierce spirit, she was still learning and enjoying the process. At one point, she even joked about needing more reps on the putting green, her words resonating with fans who appreciated her willingness to laugh at herself. The crowd's reactions were an equally entertaining part of the event. There was a palpable shift in energy every time Caitlin approached the tee or lined up a putt. A quiet tension would descend, a collective holding of breath as if everyone was unsure of what to expect next. This wasn't your typical crowd of hushed golf enthusiasts. They were more spirited, a mixed bag of golf lovers, basketball fanatics, and those who were simply there to witness Clark in action. Her fans weren't accustomed to whispering and tiptoeing around, and you could sense their excitement clashing with the traditional norms of a golf tournament. Golf purists might have bristled a bit, but for others, it was a refreshing infusion of raw enthusiasm. Her scorecard wasn't topping the charts, but that didn't matter to her or her fans. For many, Caitlin Clark's performance was about much more than numbers. Each stroke, each calculated step, each grin of disbelief at a shot that fell short. All of it showcased her willingness to be vulnerable, to put herself in a position where she was far from the best. It was a testament to her competitive nature, the same drive that propelled her to basketball stardom. She seemed to understand the weight of her presence there and played with an unmistakable appreciation of the opportunity, lending her competitive edge with a respect for the game. Professional golfers, who are usually all business, couldn't help but be intrigued by this basketball star navigating their turf. It was a rare sight, watching a rookie in a very different arena impress even the steadiest hands in golf. A few of them shared a quiet chuckle or nod as they passed her, perhaps a silent acknowledgement of her surprising skill and her grit. You could sense they were enjoying the novelty of this moment, and perhaps even admiring her a bit for stepping out of her comfort zone so publicly. Caitlin's approach to the game also revealed a certain strategic side that resonated with her basketball fans. Observers noticed that her game wasn't just about power and strength, but about calculation. She sized up each shot with a thoughtful squint, adjusting her stance, switching her grip, and nodding to herself in a manner that was oddly reminiscent of how she approaches a play on the basketball court. You could see her mind working as if she was figuring out the golf course one hole at a time. And it was this combination of intense focus and casual poise that made her presence all the more captivating. One particularly memorable moment came on the 15th hole, where Clark faced a challenging shot across a small pond. It was the kind of shot that would make seasoned golfers pause, let alone a newcomer. Caitlin, unfazed, lined up, took a breath, and hit the ball with what fans would later describe as pure basketball guts. The shot wasn't perfect. It landed just short of where she wanted, but it was close enough to draw a round of applause. For a moment, it almost looked like she was going to turn to the crowd and pump her fist as if she'd just drained a buzzer beater. There was an electricity in the air as everyone realized that while Caitlin Clark might not be an expert golfer, she was most certainly a competitor in every sense. This wasn't just a one-off appearance. The implications of Caitlin's debut went beyond the single tournament. Fans couldn't stop speculating about what her involvement in the sport might mean, not only for her own athletic future, but for sports culture at large. Was this the beginning of a multi-sport career? Was she here to stay? Even if golf wasn't her endgame, her willingness to push boundaries and step into another sport resonated deeply with fans and athletes alike. It spoke to a broader message about sportsmanship and passion, showcasing the idea that athleticism is not confined to one skill set or playing field. For the LPGA, Caitlin Clark's appearance was a unique opportunity to connect with a new generation of fans. Young spectators who typically followed basketball found themselves paying attention to golf, a sport they might have previously dismissed as too slow or too technical. Clark's presence added a dash of flair and excitement, an unspoken challenge to traditional sports boundaries. In many ways, she served as a bridge between two distinct worlds, drawing in a crowd that might not have otherwise given golf a second glance. By the end of her round, Caitlin Clark had made her mark on the LPGA Annika Pro-Am in a way that went beyond her score. She had embraced a level of vulnerability that many athletes shy away from, especially when venturing into a new domain. Her willingness to laugh, to focus, to compete, and to simply be herself made her debut more than just a headline. It became an event that fans would talk about for years to come. It wasn't her skill level that people would remember, but the spirit she brought with her, the raw, unfiltered love of competition that crossed sports lines and made her feel like one of us. As she wrapped up her game and walked off the final green, Caitlin Clark left the course with the same humble, slightly amused expression she'd arrived with. She'd faced the challenge head-on, played well enough to earn respect, and charmed a whole new set of fans along the way. There were smiles, laughs, and a wave of applause that followed her all the way to the clubhouse. It wasn't the applause of a golf crowd. It was something else, a unique mix of admiration, respect, and affection. This wasn't just Caitlin Clark, the basketball phenom, it was Caitlin Clark, the fearless athlete who was willing to step into the unknown with a grin, a laugh, and just enough swagger to make it all work. And so Caitlin Clark's LPGA debut ended not with a trophy or a title, but with an indelible impression on everyone who watched. Fans, golf pros, and onlookers walked away with a renewed appreciation for what it means to be an athlete. How it's not always about perfection, but about heart, courage, and a sense of humor. Her debut at the Annika Pro-Am wasn't the start of a new career, nor was it a simple guest appearance. It was a bold declaration, a reminder of what can happen when someone steps outside their usual arena and brings with them an authenticity that makes everyone stop and pay attention. Caitlin Clark had taken a shot, both literally and figuratively, at something different, and the echoes of that day will likely continue for a long time to come. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.